My name is Maria, and I'm from Moscow. And here today I will represent the Institute of Translation. I will try to speak English. And with me here on the stage is Lisa Hayden, a great translator and our good friend who live in Texas. Yeah.
I live in Maine.
Okay. And Vitalik, who will take some pictures and maybe will say some few words in the end to announce tomorrow we have also one event here. Okay, so I will I will tell something about our Institute of Translation, our programs and our events in Moscow and abroad. Then Lisa will present some books and will speak about Institute of Translation too, and about her experience with us. The Institute of Translation was created in 2012 after the first International Congress in Moscow. The first International Congress of Translators happened in Moscow in 2010, and the objectives of this Congress were the restoration of the profession's prestige, of translators' prestige, then the promotion of Russian literature abroad, and also the creation of a system of financial incentives for translation projects. And after this Congress, the Russian government decided that it's very important to create an institution or a foundation that will support international publishers and translators that work abroad to promote and to translate Russian authors in different countries. So we were born in 2011 on 31st of May. And on the screen you can see our creators. So we have some organizations that help us to promote Russian literature. Different universities in Russia, different foundations, also press, mass media, libraries in Russia, Yeltsin Foundation, and so on. So we are a non-for-profit organization that promote Russian literature abroad. We have different events in Russia and abroad. So I will begin with some events that we have already done. So the first was the Russian Slovenian Translators Seminar in Moscow. Then the event in Greece, a conference, the Third International Scholarly Conference in Salonika. Then there is a great place not far from Moscow, Yasnaya Polana, where Tolstoy lived, and normally every year there is a international seminar, and all the translators of Tolstoy are invited there to work on new translations and to share their experience translating Tolstoy. The most important event of Institute of Translation is still the International Congress of Translators that is held in Moscow every 2 years, and we invite the translators from different countries. Last year it was 32 countries, translators from 32 countries that were invited to Moscow. We saw and we met with more than 2,050 translators, 40 publishers and 20 writers. Normally Congress the time for Congress it's 3 or 2 days, and everybody shares its experience of translating Russian authors. So we invite to Moscow not only the translators but also the publishers and the editors and the literary agents that did it last year during the non-fiction fair in Moscow, book fair. But the most important thing that I would like to speak about today is the support for translators. I am the coordinator of a grant program, our office in Moscow, and we receive a lot of letters from international publishers to support them and to give grants for the translation of Russian authors. So this program, we are supported by Federal Agency for Press and Communication that did it all possible to support translators and publishers abroad. So we finance only the translation. We have some criteria, of course, to choose from a lot of applications that we receive every year. So the importance and relevance of the translation into the proposed language, the originality and the freshness of the literary work, also it's of great help for international publishers to understand which writers are popular now and what books should be translated. So, of course, very important is the prizes received from Russian national competition. And it's not the only 4 criteria that we have, but these are the important ones. And also we are really interested by the good translations. So we are very interested by the fact that the publisher choose a good translator to translate classic books, to do a new translation of classics, or of modern authors too. Also, we support children books and fiction. So on our website you can find the list of the documents that you should send us to participate in the competition to receive a grant. So we have some brochures here on the tables. There are all the details there. There are not a lot of documents that you should send us, and you can send it by email. So there is no problem, no bureaucracy of doing this. So the documents are a completed proposal form, a copy of agreement with translator, with the author, also a detailed budget for the publication, and a brief explanation of choosing this or that translator and this or that work. And of course, the most important thing is a translator's resume for us to know that it's an experienced translator and not to worry about the quality of translation. And here are some of our books that we have already supported during the 2012 and 2013 that you also can find on our website. And now maybe I will invite Lisa here on the stage to speak about the variety of books that we already supported and that we will support. Surely till 2018, that because the program is from 2012 till 2018, after this time, we don't know what will happen. You never knows. But for these 6 years, we will work hard and we will support books. Lisa, could you be so kind?
Thank you, Masha. I didn't bring my glasses, so I'm not sure how well I can see the covers, but that's okay. Thank you. I think what strikes me the most about the grant program that the Institute has is that variety, because they're supporting, the classics that everybody already knows of, the Chekhovs, the Tolstoys, the writers that are part of every essentially college Russian literature program, as well as a lot of wonderful 20th century books. And in the brochure that I think that Masha has, there are 2 books that are 20th century classics, one being Autobiography of a Corpse by Sigismund Krzyżanowski and translated by Joanne Turnbull. And that book is actually right now on the shortlist for the Read Russia Prize, which will be awarded tomorrow. Krzyżanowski is a very interesting writer who's just been kind of resurrected in the last decade or so. And there's also a book called Subtly Worded by Nadezhda Teffy, and that was translated by Anne-Marie Jackson, who's an American who lives in Great Britain. And Teffy is another writer that's not as well known in the West as she should be, and that book is published by Pushkin Press. So those are 2 very interesting ones that are from the 20th century, writers that are kind of being rediscovered. And for me, who's someone that's especially interested in contemporary fiction, it's wonderful to see the tremendous range of the contemporary writers that the Institute is supporting. Petrushevskaya, Maidenhair, which is written by Mikhail Shishkin, who's a major award winner. The Petrushevskaya book I should come back to, those have been especially popular. I think the first one that she did, which wasn't supported by the Institute, but it actually hit the bestseller list, which is unusual. Olga Slavnikova, who's another big award winner. I could go on and on about them. There are a few that are actually available at the, or for display at the Russian booth, and these 3 books actually really speak to the variety. Igor Vishnevsky's Leningrad, which was translated by Andrew Bromfield and published by Dalkey Archive Press. This is a combination of poetry and prose. It plays on Andrei Bely's Petersburg, and so it's sort of an update. It's not, unfortunately, I haven't read it yet, but I've heard wonderful things about it. It was shortlisted for 1 or 2 major prizes. And then there's a book of poetry by Gleb Shulpakov, and he's quite well known for his poetry and prose. So this is poetry. And then there's also a Moldovan writer, Vladimir Lorchenkov, and this book was The Good Life Elsewhere, and it's translated by Ross Ufberg. And New Vessel Press is a brand new vessel, a brand new press based here in New York that's working on translations. And so it's also nice to see that the Institute is supporting these new presses that are starting to look for more, I'm not quite sure how to put it, but more unusual choices. And Lorchenkov is kind of a humorist, writes about Moldova, and again, I haven't read the book yet, but I've heard wonderful things about it. So it's nice to see this humor, poetry, and very serious stuff in the variety that the Institute's supporting.
So speaking about Lorchenkov, for example, and speaking about our work, it's not only the support of the translators and publishers, like giving grants for the total cost of the translation, but also, for example, for Lorchenkov, we organized the trip to France this year. It will be in June. His trip to Saint-Malo, and there is a great festival the great festival of books and films, and so we are trying to promote the book, and we are trying to promote also after the publication the book of Vladimir Lorchenkov. And it's not a lot of trips like this that we can organize, but one trip for one publishing house. It's possible too. So they are not alone to promote the book, and it's not only the translation that we pay. It can be the trip, it can be the event in different countries too. So we are presented on the on online resources too. So we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter a little bit, but the main part is on Facebook. There are a lot of photos. If you are interested, you can find different photos from Paris Book Fair, from London Book Fair, from Shanghai, from Frankfurt. So normally we go there to present the books that we have already supported, and new authors and new names that should be translated one day if there is a possibility. So I would like to speak a few words about our International Congress for Translators. First of all, I would like to invite you for tomorrow event here on the stage, and my colleague Vitalik, who is here, will speak about the third International Congress for Translators that will be this year in Moscow in September. And everybody is welcome there to come to Moscow and to take part of this great event. So this year we invited 300 of translators to come to Moscow and to participate. And this will be tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. here on the stage. All the details will be announced by my colleague tomorrow. We have also a stand, what is called Read Russia. Read smart, read deep, read Russia. So you are also welcome there to the stand about all the questions and all the information about Russian literature. We have some books there on the stand for children of modern writers, and some classics, and also some fiction and non-fiction. Speaking about future events, so it will be surely it will be different book fairs. So our Congress in Moscow for international translators. Also, we organize some poetry festival in Catalonia, and a lot of events to promote Russian literature and to help translators to share their experience and to speak about translation. So after the Congress, the last day of the Congress, it's normally the Read Russia Prize Award that is also in Moscow in Pashkov House, and the best translator. It's every 2 years, this prize and this Congress. So the best translator of these 2 years is chosen, and it's a great event. It's a great day for us. So the publisher and the translator receive their grants to continue working with Russian literature and to have the possibility to translate Russian authors. We have also our project, like working on the database of translations and translators of Russian literature into foreign languages. So we are trying to create this database where after some time we can find all the translations from Russian to foreign languages, like to find what was translated and what wasn't translated at all, to make an accent on these authors that were for such a reason forgotten before, even now, that are not popular and should be promoted too. So you can find any book, you can find any translator there in this database. we have a lot of information and all the works that are translated by this or that translator. It's of a great help for us to work with the translators and to help them to translate Russian literature. So here is our website, and it's not only in Russian, so it is translated in English, French, Spanish, Arabic language, and Italian. And our dream is to translate this website in all languages. So it's the plan for now. You can find the information on Facebook and on Twitter.